Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. I haven't uploaded in a long time. I really don't have a reason for it because I could have been able to record my games that I've been playing. I just think I have chosen not to, but I'm back. We're doing Emerald League Season 1, which is another league put on by Noah, aka Ark, and this is our Wi-Fi league. And we did a draft of 5 tiers. We got 1 tier 1 pick, 2 tier 2s, 3 tier 3s, 3 tier 4s, and 2 tier 5s, which are your Terra captains. And we're doing open Terra, which means that you can do whatever Terra you want, but you have to announce which mon and what type before the battle, I believe. And this season, I am the Lebanon Lillipups, Lebanon, South Dakota, not Lebanon, Africa. Last season, I was the Noisy Noiverns, and we did not have a very great season, and I'm hoping that this one will be different. So without further ado, let's get into the draft. So for my first tier pick, I picked Primarina, and my reasoning was the typing. Water Fairy, I love water types, I love fairy types, and it was my favorite starter for a while from Sun and Moon, but I also really like Incineroar, but this one has my heart, because it's my 2 favorite types put together, kind of like Azumarill or Water Pikachu. And I have been told that this is one of the best fairy types in this format because of how bulky it is, and I'm hoping to see what it can do this season. And now we'll get into its EVs. It's got really shitty attack and defense, which is fine because it's a special attacker, and its special defense is really good. It's not very fast, but it makes up with its attack and its defense, and then its HP is in the middle. It's mediocre, but that's okay, because as we'll get to know in the abilities, it has Torrent, which means that before you pass away, you get a boost in your water type attacks at low HP. And it also has Liquid Voice, which turns any voice moves into water type. So Alluring Voice, Psychic Noise, Hyper Voice, it's kind of like Pixelate in a way, except it's for voice moves, not normal type moves, which is really cool. I like it. I like its abilities. I mean, Torrent is every starter's ability, water starter's ability, because there's Torrent, Blaze, and Overgrow. And yeah, they all do the same thing, just different types. And for our tier 2 pick, it was Uxie, but I switched it to Hatterene because I just feel like Uxie's only purpose is to be a tank and take hits. It doesn't really do much. And this thing is cool. This is one of my favorite fairy types from Sword and Shield, because its Pokédex entry is literally, if you make a loud noise near it, it will tear you apart with its claws. Like, that's not a fairy. I just think it's really cool. It's a cool design. It's got a pretty decent typing. The typing that it shares a typing with Tapu Lele, which is another fairy psychic type from Sun and Moon. It's my favorite Tapu, but I also am biased because I love fairy types. So, but we are going to get a lot of work out of this thing in Trick Room, I believe. But the other issue is it's decently bulky, but it is not fast. It needs Trick Room to do anything, and I'm hoping that I can get some Trick Room like sweeps with Hatterene eventually, but we will see. And we'll look at its EVs. as you can see, it is really good for defense. Like, both green. HP is meh. Speed is terrible. 29 speed is not good. Another special attacker, which is fine, because we will get into our physical attackers. But another specially forward mon. But I don't know. I think it will be fun. And I mean, Uxie is pretty much the same thing. Most of its moves that it gets access to are special. And it has less special attack. It only had 75. Or 50, I believe. But, yeah. So then we'll get into its abilities. It's got Healer, which I believe means that it can heal status conditions of the party. And then Anticipation, which tells you or warns you about a move or an ability. I don't remember. Oh no, it's a move. And then Magic Bounce, which means like if someone throws out rocks, it bounces right back onto their side, which I think it's going to come in handy. I love this ability because if you don't have Defog or Rapid Spin, you can just use Magic Bounce, which you can have Hatterene, Espeon, and Mega Absol all have Magic Bounce, I believe. I don't remember who else has it, but those are the 3 ones that I have used personally. And then getting into our second tier 2 pick with Arcanine. I love this thing. This has been a favorite Pokemon of mine since I played Pokemon. Like, I don't know. It just looks so cool. It's literally just a tiger. But it's got a really good move pool. Like, it's got Steel type moves, Fairy type moves, freaking Psychic type moves. It's Ice type moves. This thing is nuts. And it's, I don't know, it's bulky, fast, and it hits hard. So, this thing, yes, look at this. Its defense and special defense are 80, both respectively. It is pretty decently fast. It's not super fast, but it's adding a little bit of speed to my team. As you could tell, I kind of needed it. It can be either a physical attacker or a special attacker. I mean, I would use it as an attacker because the stat is just 10 points higher, but you can use it as a special attacker to throw some people off and be like, they'll be like, oh, it's a physical attacker because it's got Intimidate or something. But no. It's got pretty decent HP, pretty decent speed, pretty decent attack and special attack, and it just looks badass. And I've never really, I've had Arcanine on my team, but I never really used it last time. And I think I want to try and get more use out of it this season because it deserves it. It deserves that respect. And its abilities are Flash Fire, which means that I believe if it gets hit by a fire type move, it increases its attack by 1 times and gives you a fire immunity. It's got Intimidate, which means on switch-in, it lowers the attack stat of the opposing Pokemon, and Justified, its attack stat gets boosted if it gets hit by a dark type move. Which, if we were doing doubles, I would have gotten Pachirisu, given it beat up, and had it beat up Arcanine so that its attack stat got boosted. That would have been awesome. And I think next season, for my league, we're going to do duos, because I have never done a doubles league, and I think that sounds fun. But, well, everyone's going to find out now because this is going out, but no one knew yet, and I've got a while. And now we're getting to the tier 3 picks. My first one was Regidrago. To be fair, one of the main reasons I picked this up is because Noah picked it up in my league. And I also think it's the coolest one that was introduced in Sword and Shield. And I've never used it on my team. Same with Primarina and Hatterene. I've never had any of these Pokemon on my team, and that was kind of what I was going for with my draft this season. It is a pure Dragon type, which is, it's a pretty defensive typing because it resists all the 4 main types within water, fire, grass, and electric. It's weak to ice, dragon, and fairy, and I believe No. That's it. Yep, that's its typing. And then for its EVs, this thing is not very defensive. Pretty mediocre speed, but it is a tank. It's got a lot of HP, and it can be either an attacker or a special attacker. I believe it's more of a special attacker, but it can be both, which is amazing and really nice. But my team is pretty bulky, I would say. Not very speedy, but I do have answers for that with my next couple picks. So, speaking of, his ability is Dragon's Maw, which increases dragon type moves. It just makes him deal more damage. It's kind of like I don't know. There's another ability like frick. Well, it just increases his dragon type moves. Gives it like a 1.3. I think it's literally just like Reggialecki's Transistor, which is 1.3 times boost to electric type moves. With our second pick of tier 3, we got Cyclizar, mainly for its speed and its abilities, and it's got Rapid Spin, which is really good because I need something to get rid of hazards because I always fail to do that. Its EVs are pretty good speed, pretty good attack, pretty mediocre special defense and defense, average HP, and average special attack. I think this thing will be fun to use because it gets Regenerator and Shed Skin. Both abilities are really good. On switch out, this Pokemon will heal 1/8 of its HP, and with Shed Skin, it has a chance to drop a status condition. I think it's I don't remember what percentage it is, but these abilities are awesome. Shed Tail is banned because Shed Tail with Regenerator would be a little broken, and I don't blame him, but I would have loved to see what this thing would do, but it would probably just dominate. And I don't know, I think Cyclizar is a pretty decent pick. I've never used it. I wanted to try a new Pokemon, and it was a Rapid Spinner, and I thought it was another physical attacker, and I kind of needed that on my team. And it's pretty fast, so that was good. And for our next pick, we've got Yanmega, which I think I might have done this wrong. Yeah, this should say pick 3. But okay, we got Yanmega. I have never used this mon in my life. Not even in playthroughs. I saw that it had speed boost, and I asked my coach if it was banned because it's banned on Blaziken, and he said no. And I was like, oh, well then I'm gonna draft it because I think speed boost is really good because I need speed on my team. This thing is not bulky, which is okay. It makes up for it with its speed, its special attack, and its HP is pretty mediocre. The only issue is this thing gets O-code by any rock type move. So, I need to watch out for rocks, but other than that, this thing gets a speed boost, I think, every turn. It has Frisk, which warns you about an item, and Tinted Lens, which makes, I think, crits. It gives you a higher crit chance, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. For our next mon, we've got Grafaiai, which was our first tier 4 pick. Never used this mon. I've always wanted to because I've seen so many people do some pretty messed up things with this thing. I like it. Looks cool. It's really fast. It's got really good attack. It's not very defensive. It's mediocre. Pretty mediocre on the defensive side, but that's okay. I've got so many other mons that are there to tank hits. This thing is here to deal damage and be fast. And probably parting shot a bunch of people. So, its abilities are Poison Point, Unburden, and Prankster. All of these are very good abilities. Poison Point means that if any Pokemon makes contact with this Pokemon, it has a chance to be poisoned. Prankster means that your status condition or non-volatile or whatever moves always go first. They have priority. So Leech Seed, Parting Shot, Growl, all of those things have priority. I believe Unburden has something to do with speed. I don't remember, but I like this Pokemon. And Lanky Paul, I believe, used it one season, and I was very impressed and wanted to try and use it. So, for our next pick, we have Flamigo. My reasoning for this guy is because I've been playing Pokerogue so much, I have grown to love this mon. This thing hits pretty hard and is decently fast and has Scrappy, which is a great ability. Like these are good stats. Its defense, whatever. I've got things that are going to take it. The only issue is the typing, because it's weak to itself. It is weak to flying because it's a flying fighting type. But it's got Tangled Feet, which means that if it's confused, its speed is boost. Scrappy means that its normal and fighting type moves can hit ghosts. And Co-Star, I don't know what it does. I don't think it has any competitive use unless it's like in doubles. But I don't know. I like the design. I think it's funny. I want to see Flamigo do some funny things this season because I think it deserves more respect than it actually gets. I've gotten a newfound respect for it because of Pokerogue, and I believe that I want it to be the MVP. I kind of just want it to be the MVP. And then for our next, we did pick up, I believe, Regice first. And I was trying to just get like an ice type resistance, but then I realized that Registeel has an ice, rock, and psychic type resistance, which is really what I needed for my team because I had no answers to any of those types, and this was my answer. He's defensive, which is really what I wanted. I just wanted him to be able to tank hits. I don't really need him for much. I think he'll be a screen setter. If he gets screens, either that or, I mean, he could probably do some stuff because he is able to sit and just take hits, but we'll see. I'm excited to use him. I've never used Registeel either. I have always used Regice or Regirock. I've never used this one, and I'm excited to see what it does. It's got Light Metal, which means that it lowers the weight of this Pokemon, which I don't think I'm ever going to use. And Clear Body makes it immune to stat changes. So Intimidate doesn't affect it. Like Parting Shot won't affect it. It's going to be good. It's going to be a great ability. I like it. For our first Terra, it was originally Leafeon, but that was another ice type weakness. And I saw Muck, and I was like, I really enjoy Muck, and I have him in my APDL Season 13 team, and he's pretty good, but I was thinking, what if he could Terra? And I saw him in the Terramons, and I said, ooh, this could be good, because its stats are pretty good. Mediocre defense, really good special defense, amazing attack, and amazing HP. Its speed is quite terrible, but that's what Trick Room is for, I guess. But it's really going to be easy to plan around my team, I think, and I think that's why it was put down to C. But for its abilities, it's got Sticky Hold, which means that if something tries to steal your item, it can't, because you're holding on to it. I don't know. I don't remember what Stench does. But Poison Touch means that if I make contact with an enemy Pokemon, it has a chance to poison any move. So, I like that. For our last pick, we went with Lapras. I forgot to put Lapras, but that's okay. This is another Mon that I've never really used, but I've always wanted to use because I really enjoy Lapras. I think it's a cool Mon. I think it's kind of annoying to play against, and I feel like if I have it on my team, then I'll understand why people use it. And I think it being able to Terra is going to be nuts. But yeah, for its EVs, it is a tank. And that is literally all it's there for, is to just be there to take hits. And I think that it's going to do its job very well. For its abilities, it's got shell armor, which means I think crits, can't land crits. Hydration, which is in the rain. It can be cleared of status conditions, and water absorb gives it a water immunity, and it heals when it gets hit by a water attack, and I think that will be awesome. But yeah, that's the draft. So let's go over what everyone decided for their rankings. So here's the power rankings chart. Number 1 is Alex, which I agree with wholeheartedly. This man is the only one in the S tier. His team is crazy. I think I put myself in B tier, by the way. I did say it was sad, but I definitely did vote myself to be in B tier. Because I think my team is going to be really easy to plan against, and that's okay. For second place, we have Peyton, who is my week 1 opponent. I'm kind of scared because Peyton always kicks my ass. But it's okay. We got this. We can do it. And then Jamestown Judgment is Ark, who is the owner. We've got the Kalamazoo Raichu, which is Sauce. Minneapolis Mudsdale, JK. The Makati City Manaphes, which is Exapotheosis. Edmonton Ice Cubes, Lanky Paul. Mighty Moonducks is Hoop. Duat Dragoons is Verberi. Lebanon Lillipups, which is me. North Dakota Noibats, Edol. Madison Mudkip, Chunk Norris. Bismarck Bedoofs, Joe Schmo. And Idaho Athol Drampas in Raven. I am really excited. I love the Wi-Fi League. I'm hoping to God that this time I don't mess it up and forget to gen in my mons correctly. But I'm really excited, and I'm hoping to see how this goes. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.